Brit Chadasha reading for Parsha Bamidbar. God's trumpet call presents Matthew chapter 24 verse 29 to 36. After the tribulation. Immediately after the tribulation of those days, the sun will be darkened and the moon will not give its light. The stars will fall from the sky and the powers of the heavens will be shaken. Matthew chapter 24 verse 29. This verse describes certain events that will take place after the tribulation. The word tribulation refers to great troubles, severe hardship, or deep sufferings. It will test the endurance and strength of believers. It refers to difficult times of severe hardship, wars, pestilence, and chaos. The verse refers to certain events that must take place after the tribulation. After these difficult times, there will be cosmic disturbances such as sun to be darkened. Sun is the source of natural light, and darkness of the sun affects all creation and its existence. Moon by itself does not provide light. With the darkening of the sun, the reflection of light by moon will be gone. Tribulation is associated with end times. Daniel chapter 12 verse 1-2 speaks of events relating to end times. Michael, who is identified as an archangel, in Jude chapter 1:9 and Revelation chapter 12:7, he is an archangel protecting Israel. His role is to provide divine protection over Israel. Revelation chapter 12 verse 7-2 speaks of a time of unprecedented trouble. Isaiah chapter 13 verse 10 and Joel chapter 2 verse 31 also speaks of an event where sun will be darkened and moon too. These changes in the celestial bodies indicate God's favor being withdrawn from his creation. Generally, falling of stars refer to the collapse of the worldly and spiritual powers. Revelation chapter 6 verse 13 also describe a similar end-time event. Scriptures say that powers of heaven shall be shaken, indicate the destruction and shakings that will take place in the spiritual realm. These shakings will affect both heaven and earth. Haggai chapter 2 verse 6 to describe how God will shake the heaven and the earth. This will be necessary to establish his kingdom and its sovereignty. Son of Man. At the time, the sign of the Son of Man will appear in heaven, and all the tribes of the earth will mourn. They will see the Son of Man coming on the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. Matthew chapter 24 verse 30. The verse refers to a period of time after tribulation. The events that will take place during this time is specified in Daniel chapter 9 verse 24 to 27 and Revelation chapter 6 verse 19. The title Son of Man is a Messianic title from Daniel chapter 7 verse 13 to 14. The title speaks of Yeshua's authority and divine nature. Yeshua's birth was announced by a celestial phenomena. Likewise, his return too will happen with a heavenly sign, and it will be a supernatural event. His sign will be a visible divine manifestation in the sky, accompanying Yeshua's return. It will make all nations to mourn or tremble at the judgment of God. It will act as the final sign for the gathering of the elect by the angels. The sign referred to in this verse could be Yeshua himself, the cross, or the Shekinah glory, or it could be lightning, Matthew chapter 24-27, or a banner, Isaiah chapter 11 verse 12. Some believe that the sign will be an atmospheric cloud formation indicating God's glory and his presence. The event will be of one that is filled with power and God's great glory. Angels. And he will send out his angels with a loud trumpet call, and they will gather his elect from the four winds, from one end of the heavens to the other. Matthew chapter 24 verse 31. God will send out his angels with a loud trumpet call, and they will gather his elect from the four winds, from one end of the heavens to the other. The verse refers to God sending out his angels with authority to accomplish his divine purpose. Angels are messengers and servants of God. God used angels in important events to announce the birth of Yehoshua, Luke chapter 1, verse 26 to 38, and his resurrection, Matthew chapter 28, verse 2 to 7. God commanded sounding of the trumpet in Leviticus chapter 25, verse 9, to gather his people, to announce the year of Jubilee. Also to gather his people, Numbers chapter 10, verse 2 to 10. Trumpets were used in significant events in the Old Testament, and trumpets will be sounded again at the return of Yehoshua and the resurrection of the dead, as stated in 1 Corinthians chapter 15, 52 and 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 16. Trumpets were sounded to gather his people in the Old Testament. At Yeshua's return, trumpets are sounded for the purpose of gathering his elect. In the end, God gathers his people who are faithful to him, both Jews and Gentiles. Romans chapter 8, verse 33, Colossians chapter 3, verse 12. The word four winds is a biblical term that refers to entirety of the earth. Those who are faithful to God will be gathered in a way that God will display in the heaven and on earth, that nothing is hidden from him, that he still is the creator and still has control over his creation. Signs of Yeshua's return. So also, when you see all these things, you will know that he is near, right at the door. Matthew chapter 24, verse 33. Here Yeshua is saying that just as some events indicate the changes in seasons, there will be signs that points out to his return. The events Yeshua is referring to are wars, famines, earthquakes, and abomination of desolation. These events take place during end times. Unless we observe and train ourselves to discern the times, we might not even recognize the signs are already taking place. Yeshua first assured to his disciples and then to all his followers that his return is near. The door is an important place. It is used for transition, a place to enter and exit, and to welcome someone waiting. To say Yeshua is right at the door indicate that prophecy of his return will be fulfilled without delay. This generation will not pass away. Truly I tell you, this generation will not pass away until all these things have happened. Matthew chapter 24, verse 34. Truly I tell you is a phrase Yeshua used frequently to indicate the certainty, truthfulness, and importance of the statements he is making. It is with such authority that Yeshua spoke, because he is the Son of God and also a prophet and rabbi, and his teachings are trustworthy. The generation that he is referring to in this verse could be the generation living at the time of Yeshua, for they witnessed the destruction of Jerusalem temple in AD 70, or he may be referring to all humanity. The words generation will not pass away indicate that the events prophesied will certainly take place and they are inevitable. Yeshua prophesied that all these things in Matthew chapter 24. Events such as wars, famines, earthquakes, and persecutions to take place in the end times. Final words of Yeshua. Heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will never pass away. Matthew chapter 24, verse 35. Yeshua is saying that what is seen in the physical world will pass away. Similar prophecies are found in Isaiah chapter 34, verse 4, and Revelation chapter 21, verse 1. Yeshua is teaching us that the physical world we interact with is temporary and it will be replaced by God's eternal kingdom. But the words that Yeshua speaks are eternal. The words, the divine truths Yeshua spoke will not pass away. Spoken words are covenants and are binding and of spiritual nature. Isaiah chapter 40 verse 8 states, words of our God endures forever. Also Matthew chapter 12 verse 36 states that, but I tell you that everyone will have to give an account on the day of judgment for every empty word they have spoken. Such is the importance of the words we speak. Yeshua himself is the word of God made flesh. John chapter 1 verse 1. No one will know the time or hour. No one knows about that day, the hour. Not even the angels in heaven nor the Son, but only the Father. Matthew chapter 24 verse 36. Yeshua speaks about the events that will take place during end times. Yet Yeshua is saying that there will be signs to discern the times we are living, but no one will know about the day it will happen or about the hour it will happen. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 verse 2 tells us that the day of the Lord will come like a thief in the night. Even the angels, though they are messengers of God, have no access to the knowledge of the timing of the end. That is, as to when will the events mentioned in Matthew chapter 24 will take place. This shows that end-time events are sealed and are beyond human and angelic comprehension. Philippians chapter 2 verse 7 states, rather he made him nothing by taking the very nature of a servant, being made in human likeness. Although he is the Son of God, he did not fully demonstrate his divine attributes and voluntarily emptied himself by becoming a servant, and he did not demonstrate full divine knowledge. Only the Creator God, the Father, has unique authority and knowledge and omniscience. God is sovereign and only He determines the times and seasons. Acts chapter 1 verse 7. We are to trust God's end-time plans and His times and prepare ourselves daily and live in a state of readiness for His promised return. Apostle Matthew, the writer of the Matthew chapter 24 verse 29 to 36. Apostle Matthew, also known as Saint Matthew and Levi, was one of the 12 disciples of Yeshua HaMashiach. He is traditionally regarded as the author of the Gospel of Matthew. Matthew was working as a tax collector or publican. He was sitting by the customs house in Capernaum, Israel, on the Sea of Galilee at a tax booth when Yeshua called him to follow him. Yeshua simply said, "Follow me." Matthew immediately followed him and became a disciple. Tax collectors were agents of the Roman Empire and collected taxes to return to the government. Because he was a tax collector, many other Jews and Christians did not trust him because of the persecution the Roman Empire had inflicted on the religious groups. Tax collectors had very little accountability. When tax collectors came to be baptized by John the Baptist, they said, "Teacher, what shall we do?" And he told them, "Collect no more than you are authorized to do." Luke chapter 3 verse 12 to 13. After his call to follow Yeshua, Levi gave a dinner in his house, and scribes and Pharisees criticized Yeshua on seeing him eat with tax collectors and sinners. But Yeshua replied, "I came not to call the righteous but sinners." Mark chapter 2 verse 15 to 17. Matthew is mentioned in all three synoptic gospels, Matthew, Mark and Luke. He is listed among the disciples in the book of Acts. Matthew was there throughout almost all of Yeshua's ministry. It is hard to say how Matthew died. The earliest records say he carried out his ministry in Ethiopia, Persia, Macedonia, and Syria. Not what we know as Ethiopia, but a region south of Caspian Sea. Clement of Alexandria quotes Heraclion, earliest commentators on the New Testament, that Matthew died naturally. Please remember to like the video, subscribe to this channel, and share this video and spread the good news of salvation. Thank you for watching.